Oh dear, let's see if we can get someone to come and help you.
I was sent photos and videos of Marmalade. This stray, unneutered Tom was poorly. He was limping, had a wound to his head and was very thin. I later learnt he'd been homeless for years. I headed over with my trap and a bag of treats, but soon realised it wasn't going to be easy. I was told on arrival that Marmalade knew how to evade capture and had been doing so for over a decade. No one actually knew where he was at any given point in time, so I started searching the areas he was reportedly seen. Many people had tried to capture him, but one wrong move and he backed off, never to visit again. This was like looking for a needle in a haystack. So I changed tack and searched local online groups. I found posts about Marmalade spanning nearly a decade. The comments made my heart sink. I contacted everyone who posted about him and made a map marking their locations. The unneutered Tom was covering a huge area. I was feeling phased. I couldn't do this alone. I started canvassing the neighbourhood to get locals on board. And thankfully, many messages of support were now dropping in. Next morning, a lady called Karen sent me a photo of Marmalade. He was in her garden now. She had been feeding him for months, but could never get close. I headed over with treats in hand and full of hope. I looked through the bushes, but nothing. A double check with my new furry friend, but the sneaky fellow was out of there. I'd only been 10 minutes and someone had sprayed on the car. I just knew it was Marmalade. With every message, the frustration grew. By the time I got there, he was gone. And when I did get there in time, it was the wrong Ginger Tom. After many more days, I find long-term residents who knew Marmalade's full, heartbreaking history. 14 years ago, a husband got him as a kitten for his terminally ill wife. Sadly, she passed away not long after, and Marmalade was suddenly overlooked. He was left homeless and had to fend for himself. His story was soul-destroying. He needed help now, but unfortunately the rug was about to be pulled from under me. Incredibly, I got a call that led me to the garden in which Marmalade slept. But frustratingly, the residents refused to let me take him. They wanted him to remain a community cat and believed his health was fine. After an hour of talking, I headed home. I couldn't change their minds. They did say they'd get him vet treatment. However, I couldn't help but worry. Over the 3 weeks of searching the neighbourhood, I witnessed some distressing things. One being another Ginger Tom who had just been poisoned and sadly died. A couple of unneutered Toms were killed crossing the same busy road that Marmalade did. I had just narrowly missed this little one and pulled over. I helped who I could along the way and rescued others, while nervously waiting to hear about Marmalade. 3 weeks later, I went back to the neighbourhood. Messages started dropping in again. He was still wandering the streets and obviously hadn't been neutered or treated. Everyone knew he wouldn't survive another winter. After weeks of searching, I was becoming despondent. I hadn't even seen Marmalade. As I was driving home, I had a feeling about a particular house, so I pulled over and knocked on the door. I couldn't believe it. I was invited inside and there he was. Finally, I laid eyes on Marmalade. He looked far worse than I imagined, so frail and defeated. Rachel had kindly been feeding him for 4 years, after seeing him eat the food she put out for the fox. He would never let her close though, and she couldn't find help to trap him. This week, she finally managed to get him inside and to a vet, but now didn't know what to do, as options were limited. A blood test had shown he'd not only contracted FIV, but also feline leukemia.
Don't eat my finger.
This meant he'd be very difficult to rehome, and some charities may even put him to sleep. With Marmalade confined to her spare room, it was a difficult situation. Rachel had her own furry family to consider. Over the 14 years, he suffered terribly. All but one rotten tooth had fallen out. He had a damaged, sunken eye and an abscess on his head. Also a serious infection that must have made it incredibly painful to toilet. He was limping heavily, underweight and riddled with fleas. It was incredibly sad to see all those years of being alone, scared and suffering. It could have easily been so different.
Finally met you.
I headed home determined to find him a loving guardian for whatever time he may have left, be it a month, a year or 2. I uploaded posts on my social media and they received plenty of attention. Amazingly, within no time, Rachel and I were delivering Marmalade. A wonderful lady called Nicola had seen my post and contacted me. She worked with Glossop Cat Rescue and suggested that Marmalade live at her house until the permanent fosterer could take him on.
You coming to say hello?
We arrived at Nicola's. After being scared in the car, Marmalade was very brave.
But it's just taken
on its own, I think.
so long to just get him to trust anybody.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're being very brave, aren't you?
Hey, buddy.
You're very brave.
He sat and adjusted to the voices and environment. Then, after 10 minutes, went to explore. He'd been close to dying horribly on the streets, but was now on a warm, cosy lap. Imagining all he had been through brought tears to my eyes. We stayed for a bit of cat chat before leaving Nicola to get to know Marmalade. Fast forward a few days, and under supervision, Nicola slowly introduced Marmalade to her cats, one at a time. The vet discovered his limp was due to a calcified lump in the muscle of his back leg. His one remaining tooth had an exposed root, so was removed. His liver and kidney function was surprisingly good. He'll be going back for further treatment in stages.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Is that birdies?
Marmalade enjoyed some quiet adjustment time with Cat TV. He had years of sleep to catch up on. Marmalade's life had been desperate. Presenting it with a happy ending would be wrong. But there is hope. Good food, a warm bed, Lots of love and caring vet treatment may just see his immune system fight back. Please send him a supportive thought from wherever you may be in the world. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you for joining me on another rescue.